Well, good morning, Jamsters. How's everybody doing? I'm doing this quick little reaction video without my podcasting partner, Matthew, but hearing the news this morning of CP3 potentially violating work and health and safety protocols, I just thought I'd throw up a quick 5-minute video on it. As you can see, I'm at work this morning. Yeah, my office is a little trashy, but this is the place where you come to get those canned orange Gatorades, so don't knock it. We're still early in this process, and we don't know necessarily where we stand as Suns fans. The NBA hasn't said anything. The Suns haven't said anything. So we don't really know yet what the extent of Chris Paul being out is going to be. Obviously, this is going to be a huge blow to the Phoenix Suns if he is out for any extended period of time. You couple that with the fact that Kawhi Leonard's going to be out tonight in Game 5 versus the Utah Jazz and could potentially be out further games with a knee issue. And, this isn't aligning in the best way for the Suns. What a difference 12 hours makes. If you watched last night's podcast, we were very excited about the Western Conference Finals. We were singing the praises of Chris Paul, the All-NBA second-team recipient, and his leadership and how valuable that is going to be for this team. If he's out for an extended period of time, we're going to be in a bind. The Utah Jazz the Los Angeles Clippers are going to be a tough task to take on in the Western Conference Finals. And you need to be at your best to do so. And I almost feel like David Stern is laughing down from wherever side of the grave he's on. The health and safety protocols, man, I wish I had that one up my sleeve back when I wanted to fuck the Suns back in the day, and it's as Bill says here in the chat, he says it was reported that he's been vaccinated. And yeah, that's good. Jalen Rose is the one who broke that news. So if he is, obviously that increases the timetable a little bit of his return potentially. Again, we haven't heard anything from the NBA or the Suns. But I think everybody just woke up this morning seeing that Shams Charania tweet and just said, there it is. I knew I was feeling a little too good. I knew I was feeling just a little too fantastic as a Suns fan. We had a week off, relax, don't have to worry about anything, no drama. We can sit back, watch other games at our leisure, and guess what? We get this news this morning. So, there's obviously going to be a lot of repercussions around this. There's obviously going to be a lot of adjustments that potentially might have to be made because regardless of what happens, we know that Chris Paul's not going to be practicing with the team for these next few days. He's going to be, in quarantine mode, waiting to hear from the league when he can come and join his teammates again. And, you're going to get the whole LeBron James thing. And that's obviously my first reaction. LeBron, he did it. He violated health and safety protocols. Well, it was at a party with Drake and everybody was vaccinated. It was on the list. I'm like, yeah. And how did they know that information like 2 hours after it happened? I don't know. Chris Paul is one of this league stars. He's the president of the Players Association. He has to lead by example. And if he didn't lead by example in this situation, then you know what? Shame on him for doing so. But, as a Suns fan, I just think that this is a frustrating time. Obviously, it gives us plenty to talk about now on a Wednesday morning, which we probably didn't foresee us sitting here spending some time together. Jamsters. I didn't really think that I'd be doing this morning, but everything we want's on the other side of hard, and it just got a little bit harder this morning. So, do I have faith that the Phoenix Suns can overcome either the Jazz or the Clippers without CP3? I do for a couple games potentially, and if that's all he's out, then fantastic. Because essentially, if Matthew's in the chat, morning poop with John. Matthew, get on here with me, please. And Nicholas Tan, it's weird not seeing John with Suns gear. Yeah, this is what I wear to work. So but again, Cam Payne, he's not necessarily a distributor, but he is a scorer, and he can potentially lead this offense if we need him to in this situation, but not for a prolonged period of time because the adjustments will be made to shut him out. So if Chris Paul is out in the Western Conference Finals for any time, DeAndre Ayton's really going to have to step up. We're going to need somebody to score some of those extra points. Chris Paul averaged 25 points a game in the Western Conference semifinals. You have to replace that. Now, granted, you go back to the Western Conference first round, and he only averaged like 9, and we still won. So we had to hamper Chris Paul against the Lakers team. That was the number 1 defense in the league. Without AD, yes, but if you play the Clippers, they might be without Kawhi. If you play the Jazz, they might be without Mike Conley. So don't think that the season's over. Is this a blow? Absolutely. Welcome to what every other team in the NBA is experiencing right now. Blows. People are injured. People aren't there for their teams. They all want to make that championship run, and they're just not at full strength. Unfortunately, we're not going to be at full strength either. So we'll see how long this happens. Again, this is just a quick reaction video. Just thought, I'm processing. I'm getting texts from people. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, like CP3 called me last night. He's like, listen, John, I'm sorry. I was hanging out a little late with the fellas, and some other ladies showed up, and, they weren't vaccinated, yada, yada, yada. So that being said, go Suns. We'll see what happens. This is a reminder, if you are joining us, to please subscribe to the podcast. If you're right here on YouTube, go ahead and just hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, rate, review. We won't be posting this as a podcast, but Matthew and I will probably get together here shortly and do some sense of a podcast later in the week when we know a little bit more information. But if you decided to join me this morning, I appreciate it. And while basically whispering, I can get loud here. There ain't nobody back here in my office. I'm the first one in always. So, but on that note, take care, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we get some good news by the end of the day, but just, go Suns. Ugh.